New at 7, a major first. Port manager Darwin Telemack outlines a new milestone in efficiency at the port.
And family of Ursula Martin speaks with ABS News on the eve of sentencing for the man who murdered their loved one.
Police provide update on the search for Hyacinth Gage.
And culture and camaraderie on display in Guadeloupe as Antigua continues to shine at the Guadalajara Festival. ABS News at 7 starts now.
The local evening news is brought to you by Nagico, local agents Bryson's Insurance.
Hello, good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for the ABS Evening News. My name is Garfield Burford.
And I'm Sharon Miller Tazwell. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, the Antigua Port Authority continues to expand its offerings efficiently.
Absolutely, now, which over the weekend saw a first for the country and the region where yacht loading for transportation is concerned. Port manager Darwin Telemack explains how an operation which usually takes several days was accomplished in a matter of hours.
What we did last week to prevent the ship from being at sea or anchored outside while we worked a lumber vessel, a container ship, two container ships, a small bulk ship, is that we agreed that we would have taken that vessel to Heritage Key to commence loading. We've never done that before in terms of putting non-cruise vessels at Heritage Key Pier, and that indeed was something that ensured that the Heritage Key Piers were being utilized. Since we're in the summer months, there are less ships coming in. That decision now means that we can use the Heritage Key Pier for different purposes.
The possibilities are endless for the Twin Islands state. Now partners know that they can deliver this service in quick time.
Advancing the ability to serve them places us in a rather competitive position. And not many markets in the region could actually make that level of adaptability. We're happy to have been able to do that, and we trust that the execution would prove to them that we are in a position to serve them better and enhance their interest in our marketplace.
Well, it is a decision which was innovative as the overall management of the port continues to emerge.
That decision, I think, has resonated around the world as it relates to loading yachts in Antigua. Because prior to that, since the yachts themselves are not related to feeding the citizens of Antigua, we would have left them out for all the container ships to come in over the weekend or even today and tomorrow. So Pilot Sam is saying 5 days, but it could have been extended longer. With this approach, particularly in the summer months, we can now say to the owners, Peters and May, of the main charter company, Peters and May, that yeah, we can use the open berths when they are available, which is quite a few days in the week during the summer.
Meanwhile, acting Chief Pilot Beresford Sam notes one of the main yacht carriers, Yarmberg, benefited from the service as well. So it's a developing story that we're keeping across as well. Let's tell you about this developing story as well, because search teams have found out across the entire island now in search of a 74-year-old Hyacinth Gage. She's a Potter's resident. She went missing last Tuesday after being taken to the Mount St. John's Medical Center to have an EKG test done. The police and defense forces have been central to that effort as the family clings to hope that she will be found alive and well. Now we can get an update from Acting Police Commissioner Atlee Rodney, who joins us by telephone on this issue. Very good evening to you, Mr. Rodney.
Good evening to you and to your viewers and listeners to ABS.
Yes, myself and Sharon Miller Tazwell, who will be joining us shortly with more. Let's start off here, Acting Commissioner Rodney. Where were the searches concentrated today?
Today we did some searches in the Casada Garden area, going up towards Powell's area. We also went back into the Bath Lodge area because of some sighting that we got information from. We continue to focus in the Casada Garden area based on the last sighting we had in the initial stage of when the report was made. So we basically stayed in the general area, but we have been as far as Hodges Bay area. We have been down in the Vendors area, Bath Lodge area, Casada Garden, Spirit Pasture, and obviously we continue to focus around the Porters area.
Yes. And what is your overall assessment of the effort so far?
Well, so far the officers has been doing a tremendous job in trying to respond to different information that they receive. The family has been very supportive of us, and there are other community groups that have stepped forward and has provided us with some support. We have also received support from the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force. So there has been a collaborative effort from different agencies and also from different civic groups, and we are very much appreciative of that. I think the family also has been there with us. Any information they receive, they continue to speak to us. We have Inspector Hopkins, who has been the link between the police force and the family, and we are just trying to coordinate all the information we get, collaborate them, and then see how much we can continue to use the resources that are available to us. We have been deploying all the resources that we have available to us, including the tactical unit, the K9 unit, and even this morning at our senior executive meeting, we had a briefing on it and basically putting new methods in place in terms of going out further out in the other areas of the country and continue to do house-to-house, ask questions of persons who may have seen something that might look insignificant but that might be of use to us.
This morning on Antigua Barbuda Today, I spoke with Hyacinth's cousin about surveillance cameras, and it seems like some family members looked at it, but they did not see her leaving the hospital. Do you find that odd, or is there a possibility that maybe she could have exited a different door from the hospital?
Well, I'm not sure of the location of all the cameras at the hospital, so we're not sure of that. We have sighting that she was in the Potters area, close to the plaza, the Obis Plaza area. And I think that was one of the last credible information we had for Tuesday afternoon. And that is where we concentrated a lot on Wednesday, Thursday in that general area. But then there are other persons who have called and give information that they might not be too positive, but they have seen persons. We had an incident up to today. Somebody called and saw somebody in the Casada Garden area. And the officers responded quickly, but it was somebody else. So whatever information we get, and we continue to appeal to the general public for whatever information that they have, they can provide that to us. You know, any sighting or any information they receive, we would appreciate that, because we are very much concerned just as much as the family, but we are committed to put all the extra effort in locating this lady.
Right, and we're asking everyone, if they do see Hyacinth Gage, to please call 911. I know earlier on people were saying we saw her here, we saw her there, but now it seems like what we're requesting is if you see someone who may look like Hyacinth Gage, approach her and ask her if she's Hyacinth, so that way they can wait with them until authorities may arrive.
That too would be very helpful. If you see somebody that you feel fit the description, you can inquire. And if you have doubt, we would do like what we did today. You know, you can stay around with the person, give us the direction, and we will respond and do the inquiries ourselves.
What happens tomorrow? What is the plan now? And at what point do the police stop the search?
Well, we are not thinking about the end game yet. We're just thinking of continuing. Every day we have a debriefing after the searches, and then we decide based on the information we have, or we might come up with some new ideas and say, okay, we're going to concentrate on that area. So we're not thinking about having a cut-off time yet. We're going to continue to press on. We're going to ask the civic groups that have been assisting us, you know, to continue to be strong. We continue to work along with the family. We know how traumatic it has been on them. I mean, it's a very difficult time for them. And the police, I mean, we'll continue to support them in whatever way we can. So our effort now is like, after today's search, we will have a debriefing again and then determine where do we focus on tomorrow. But we will continue with the search.
All right.
Absolutely. Now, in another developing story as well, Acting Commissioner Rodney, there is Javier Christopher, who is also missing, 27 years old. What's the very latest on the search for him?
Well, I had the opportunity to speak just yesterday to his mother. It is still an open investigation. We are still pursuing all leads. As I mentioned to you some time ago in an interview, we are looking at all angles. If it's criminal investigation, we are prepared ourselves for that too. We're investigating it from that angle too. We are continuing with our searches. We are continuing with interviewing persons who might be of some interest or persons who can provide some additional information. We will continue to pursue that because we have not received any information as to sighting or any latest information. So we're checking everything to include what technology has to offer to us. We will continue to pursue that and investigate it in a manner that if it's a missing person, we locate by now maybe his body, or if somebody is hiding him somewhere, or if it's a murder investigation, we are prepared to address it that way also. But we are not giving up the searches for him or for Hyacinth at this time.
All right.
All right, thank you very much, Acting Police Commissioner Atlee Rodney, for joining us.
It's our pleasure, and we just continue to ask the public to assist us in any way they can with any information that they have that we can locate these two persons.
Absolutely,
Nice,
and we, of course, we look forward to hearing more from you tomorrow morning when you join us on Antigua Barbuda today at 6:30 when we talk about all matters related to crime and justice in this country. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for your time. Meanwhile, let's go back to Hyacinth Gay's search for the 74-year-old woman. That continued again for the 6th day today. And since her disappearance, surveillance cameras in areas she was spotted were checked. Listen.
I know that they did a thorough search in terms of the camera because there's some places where family members had to go along with the police to check the footage to see if persons that they were saying if perchance it was her. And none of that came up positive.
Hyacinth's cousin, Erlene Baptiste, expresses appreciation to the homeowners and businesses for allowing the family to view their footage. Now, she made this request of the public.
I want the general public to continue to be, especially her children, up in prayer. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and so you can imagine it was not normal at all for them. It's not easy. And so I want us to continue to pray for them.
And Baptiste thanks those who have been supporting the family.
In this ABS News update, now the Criminal Investigations Department, the CID, is yet to make the move to its new location on Newgate Street. That's despite the keys being handed over on the 2nd of April. Inspector Petronella Hopkins says the department was expected to make the transition within a week of the keys being handed over. Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of the CID, Clifton Cabral, says the move has not yet been made due to the lack of electricity on the upper floor where the department will be housed. He's hopeful that this will be resolved by the end of the week, noting that the staff is eager to relocate. The facility can accommodate up to 35 officers. CID will occupy the building for at least another 2 to 3 years until the central police station is built.
Well, Antiguan and Barbudan soldiers are benefiting from another regional security system RSS Staff and Command Leadership Training course. Well, the course for soldiers and police from across 7 of the 8-member group is being held at the former air base at Coolidge. 28 professionals at the rank of superintendents and above are at an average age of 45 years old and are being trained and tested during the 8-week course. 3 females and 25 males are undergoing the training. The Staff and Command course being taught in Antigua is funded by the European Union, which has provided funds for 15 RSS courses since January 2018 to present. Very good.
Absolutely, so we look forward to the outcome of that
Yes,
training.
I'm sure very rigorous.
Indeed. Stay with us right here on the ABS Evening News because still to come.
Antigua and Barbuda again on the front lines of environmental protection. We'll tell you how Green Fins is playing a part.
And the famous invitation to Prince Harry to honeymoon in Antigua is again in the news. We'll tell you why. Coming up.
The things that matter to you matter to us. Like your boat when you're at sea and you get away from everything. Your home and the security of your daughter's things. And the car that you've had for too long. But after all these years, you just can't let go. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
You're in tune with the ABS Evening News. Thanks so much for staying with us. Well, the Tin Island State is again on the front lines of environmental conservation. The Fisheries Division is partnering with the Tourism Ministry for a training exercise on better protecting marine environs. The training is focusing on the renowned Green Fins model. Leo Norville was at the opening ceremony this morning and tells us why Antigua and Barbuda is creating waves in the hemisphere.
The week-long training ends on the 18th of May. The exercise is seeing the training of assessors, the key individuals responsible for working along with the government to execute the goals of Green Fins.
And my role is to train them up to help manage the marine tourism industry. So they will be going to dive operators and snorkel centres and training them in best practice in following a code of conduct.
The Green Fins project is internationally coordinated by Reef World. It is the only recognized environmental set of standards with a comprehensive management approach for the promotion of best practices for business owners and national authorities. Antigua and Barbuda is the first English-speaking country in the Western Hemisphere to implement this project.
It's a tremendous opportunity. I really applaud the initiative. I congratulate the Green Fins group for being here. I congratulate the Fisheries Department for collaborating with us. It is important, yes, very important for tourism, but even more important, it is important for us as a people.
Senior Tourism Officer responsible for sustainable tourism, Vashti Casimir, says the goal is to see standardization across the marine industry.
So we're hoping that through this program we'll have more businesses. We have quite a few who have come on board, but more diving and snorkeling businesses coming on board with this program to ensure that the practices across that industry remain environmentally friendly.
Deputy Chief Fisheries Officer Tricia Lovell explains why the idea of the Green Fins project was brought to Antigua.
We recognize our coral reefs are under a myriad of threats, not just from use, but larger issues like climate change. And so we figured, it would be best to look at ways of improving the way we use the system.
Leon Norville reporting for ABS News.
Right, Leon, thank you. Well, Prime Minister the Honorable Gaston Browne's 2016 offer to Prince Harry to honeymoon here in Antigua is still making headlines. A recent article by British online publication The Daily Express brings to the fore the conversation Prime Minister Browne had with Prince Harry in 2016. Well, the Express highlights the invitation to Prince Harry to spend his honeymoon, which happened 2 years before the prince wed Meghan Markle. Well, the article makes reference to Robert Hardman's 2018 book, Queen of the World, which also documents the interaction. Antigua and Barbuda is world famous as a honeymoon destination.
Well, the Central Board of Health, the CBH workers downed tools this morning in protest about monies they say are owed to them. ABS's Shannon Jarvis was there and has the very latest.
Employees at the Central Board of Health, CBH, refused to work Monday morning, demanding outstanding back pay and overtime payments. They say these were promised for payments at the end of 2018. When our news team arrived shortly after 9 a.m. Monday, over 50 workers were sitting outside. They were resolute in their demands for payments.
The workers are adamant about a problem that they have about the back pay. Overtime also, but mainly the back pay part that they have promised us since 2018, December. We have gotten one part already, which is November 2018, but up until now, we haven't heard about anything about the second one, which is for December 2018.
The shop steward said the workers have been waiting for answers for over 6 months, and their patience has run out.
I wrote a letter to the PS already, and was waiting for an answer, which we never got back an answer really. But the workers then decided, well, they can't take it no more, so they will stand up.
One worker expressed his grouse with the use of placard. ATNLU President Wrigley George declined to speak with our news team. Shannon Jarvis reporting for ABS News.
Thanks so much, Shannon. Now, the president of the ATNLU, Wrigley George, said the parties will meet with the Labour Commissioner next week, Tuesday. We'll keep you across that developing story.
Various entities have partnered to restore the Seoul facility with basketball and tennis courts in Barbuda. The facilities have been out of use since Hurricane Irma in 2017. ABS's Jessica Russell has this report.
The Australian High Commission, the Red Cross, non-government organization, the B Foundation, and the Barbuda Council are working to accomplish the task. The Barbuda Council's Public Relations Officer, Devon Warner, says the renovations are a long time in coming.
The discussions on the renovation of the basketball court and other facilities in the complex was started by Miss Asher Frank when she was the chairperson of Tourism, Sports and Culture, and has been ongoing since right after Irma. And of course, this was continued by Sharima Daisel Myers when she took over the position as chairperson a few weeks ago.
The upgraded facilities will be constructed with nets and court floors that can be disassembled and packed in secure spaces if severe weather threatens. Warner says the basketball court will suit all users.
The basketball court itself will now be outfitted with adjustable hoops and rims and so on that would be able to be adjusted to junior level and for senior competitions.
Miami-based Caribbean Courts has been awarded the contract to do the work. The renovations are set for completion by mid-July. Jessica Russell, ABS News.
And the council's PRO says he cannot give a figure to the value of the renovations, but says it will be a major undertaking. Additional funding is also being sought to repair the lighting and seating. A family is in pain this evening as they anxiously await to hear what will become of the man who was ruthlessly killed their loved one 4 years ago.
That's right, Sharon. It's a story that we're tracking from the courts this evening because Elton Charles has pleaded guilty to murder and is to be sentenced in the High Court tomorrow. ABS's Jamie Roche spoke with family members attending day one of the sentencing hearing today.
On Tuesday, High Court Judge Justice Ian Morley will deliver sentence on Elton Charles for the brutal killing of Ursula Martin in 2015.
Without hearing the sentencing, the anxiousness from me and my family will continue.
Trulija Martin bravely took the stand Monday at the sentencing hearing of the man who admitted to killing her father. The family had hoped to hear the sentence right away, but Justice Morley has said he'll deliver his ruling Tuesday. The court heard Charles and the deceased knew each other and had both accused the other of stealing produce. On May 4, 2015, the convict attacked Martin and his wife with a cutlass after breaking into their Parham home. The woman barely escaping with her life after jumping through a window. The deceased was chopped to death in the yard as he too tried to evade Charles. Charles would later tell police he chopped Martin several times about his body until his skull cracked and he saw him take his last breath. Trulija Martin says the family has not been able to recover from the incident.
Because it happened at our house, we had to relocate.
The tearful daughter laments, no matter the sentence, she will never see her father again.
Hoping that he's never amongst us again. I just hope I'll never see him anywhere again, even if it's when I'm older. I just pray that the same absence of mercy that he expressed when he killed my father, and just only now to hear the extent of the damage and for him to smile about opening his head. I just pray that tomorrow the same absence of mercy that he had is in the courtroom.
Since Charles has pleaded guilty to the offense, he's entitled to receive a partial reduction in whatever sentence the judge passes on him. The judge is using this judicial time to consider what was said by the victim's wife and two of his daughters who testified at the sentencing hearing. The family is understandably hoping for the most severe punishment possible. From the High Court of Justice, I am Jamie J. Roche reporting for ABS News.
Thanks so much, Jamie. And of course, rest assured, Jamie will have the very latest from the court tomorrow, where the sentencing is expected to take place. Well, switching gears now, in the Quad town of Anse-Bertrand in the north of Guadeloupe, two cultures united for a thrilling night at the Guadadli Festival. Our team covering the events in the French territory witnessed the color and camaraderie. Here is Andy Liebert.
It was intense, almost frightening if you are unaware. Like a rushing, moving river of passion, purpose, and music. The drums are an inescapable portion of Guadeloupe culture and its history. They
speak the language of polka, a type of music from the drum that is indigenous to Guadeloupe. But tonight, they met Aya. A familiar sound, and it came together beautifully. Point and Villa Ann Band, getting percussion support from the young members of Hell's Gate Steel Orchestra on the junction in Ons Patron, meeting up with the Gage Band and Mass to produce a beautiful and moving moment of music, rhythm and culture, truly united through bonds of shared history. The conversation kept going into the night, only to be broken up by a parade that got bigger and bigger and circled threateningly the village center.
I was totally unprepared for that. As you can see, shirt soaking wet. That was really intense. And guess what? This is only the beginning of the night.
Then there were more performances that stretched a thoroughly enjoyable and entertaining evening deep into the night.
Fortunate to witness it. There isn't much more that you could have asked for. Concept Cabana behind of me now, bringing the curtains down on a totally exciting and exhilarating penultimate night of the Guadeloupe Festival here in Guadeloupe.
Good evening, I'm Natalie Clark-White for Antigua Barbuda today. On Tuesday, we'll be talking to the nurses who are having their Nurses Week with the theme, Rekindling Our Passion and Purpose for Health Delivery. We'll also be exploring Bliss. It's taking place on Saturday this week. And then we'll be interviewing two beautiful queens vying for the coveted title of Miss Carnival Queen 2019. Tune in at 6 on Antigua Barbuda today.
Need we remind you that Antigua Barbuda today is must-see television tomorrow morning, as any other morning. And by the way, Andy Lywood and Stephen Mullings have done fantastic
Weren't
work.
they? Oh, I love that story. I mean, you could just almost feel it, you know, like you were there. I mean, it was very vibrant and lots of great sound. They did a great job.
Having all the fun in Guadeloupe.
Yes, right?
All right, boys. Coming up in sport, the Windies, well, they went on to Bangladesh again today. That's the second time in the Tri-Series. So we tell you all about that when we come back. Stay with us.